Everybody, I'm Elena Baim. I'm your medium psychic. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to have a fun video. Today I'm going to teach you 3 simple tarot card spread readings you can do with any deck. So get ready. We're going to have some fun with this and incorporate it with your tarot deck that you have at home. But before we get going, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button at the bottom. It really helps out my channel and I really appreciate it and I'm grateful for it. So let's get going. Now, I hope you watched my previous video about what do you do when you buy a tarot deck and how to buy a tarot deck. If you haven't, please do not watch this video. Go back because there's certain things you got to do with your tarot deck before you even start a reading on yourself. So go back if you haven't watched that video. If you have, then enjoy this video. So you got a tarot deck. Now, every tarot deck comes with a book. Okay, and each book will tell you possible tarot card reading spreads that you could do. I mean, I have a big collection of tarot deck cards, and each of them come with a book, and they tell me all these different spreads that you can do. So you can always find spreads in the book themselves, but I always kind of gravitate towards these 3 spreads that I'm going to teach you today. So you have a tarot deck. Well, what do you want to know? So depending on my question, depends on the tarot deck I bring out. Now, lately, I have been really gravitating towards my Wisdom of Avalon Oracle cards by Colette Baron-Reid. I have been using this deck in particular with Messages from Your Angels by Doreen Virtue for my clients probably the last 6 months. So I really like this deck right now. So what do you want to know? So you pull out the cards, and as you start shuffling, you start asking yourself the question, tell me, what do I need to know in regarding to my business? Tell me, what do I need to know regarding my relationships? What's the next steps I should do? Now, every deck in their book, they'll tell you the examples of questions to ask, because the more specific the question, the better. Okay, because your energy and spirit's energy is coming into this deck trying to pick out the best cards or solution for your question. So a popular tarot deck spread is the 3-card spread. So you shuffle the cards and you can do 1 or 2 things. You can either pick the top 3 cards on top of the, or if you don't want to do that, with your dominant hand, you can pick 3, cut the deck into 3 piles, and then from each deck, you're going to pick out a card. So I'd pick up this card, I'd fan out the cards, and I'll pick out the card that calls out to me. And then you always place the cards from left to right, because that's how you're going to read them, from left to right. So in the middle, that represents my past. Fan out these cards. Say I want this one. Here's my present. And spread out. This is my future. So a 3-card deck is usually your past, what's happened to you in the past, issues you've had in the past. The middle card is your present, what's happening right now. And the last card, the 3rd card, is your outcome, is the future. It's telling you what you need to do. So I did not ask a particular question. So these are 3 random cards that I just pulled out. And it's funny, the past said communication, the present is the Raven, and the future is focus, which actually really coincides with my March predictions. So you need to stay focused this month, and because it's going to be a fantastic month. So the 3-card spread is a very simple spread, and probably one of the most popular ones: past, present, future. It tells you where you were, where you are right now, and what's the outcome. And you can use the spread for any question. Now, say you don't want to do a 3-card spread. Say if you just want to do a 1, pull a 1 card. I pull a card almost every single day for myself, not for anybody else, just for myself. Tell me, what do I need to know today? I may not have a particular question, so I give it to the angels. Tell me what I need to know today. So let me ask that question while I'm doing this video. So tell me, what do I need to know today? And I keep on shuffling until I feel like it's the right time to stop shuffling. And I know it because I feel it. If a card pops out, jumps out, you have to read that card. Okay, but that's not the card you selected. You still have to select a card. There are days where these cards are just jumping out of my hands, and sometimes it's frustrating, but that's okay. So what do I need to know today? Okay, the Swan. The Swan's all about transformation. Transformation, trusting your psychic gifts. So this card is telling me, Elena, stop thinking rationally. Trust your psychic gifts more than the rational mind. And the swan always says, once a swan transforms from an ugly duckling, it never goes back. So I won't even recognize myself a year from now. That's what the swan says. And I love the swan. It's always a good, fortunate omen. Now, if you're not too sure what your card means, well, that's what these books are for. So I would look, number 12. So this card has a number on it, number 12. So I look for number 12. Here's the swan. This card represents a transformation from one state to another, from the ugly duckling to the beautiful swan. This signals a period of growth that will ultimately be life-changing. The swan says that you may change so much that you may not recognize yourself in the end. Most important, it's time to honor and love this change within yourself, for then only the most beautiful reflection will shine back at you from the mirror of your life. The swan says, dive in. You will love who you become. It also reminds you that you need to trust your intuition and your psychic gifts to guide you as you go through the process of wonderful and ultimate change. The swan is a companion of the high priestess who has the ability to part the mists that serve this separate Avalon from the physical world. The swan can dive into the lake on her behalf and find treasure that human eyes cannot see. The swan reminds you to see with your heart and listen with your spirit, and the whole world can be magically transformed. Now, it's really interesting this card came up for me because I've been a medium psychic since I was a little girl. I mean, my first connection with spirit was when I was 12. And my grandmother visited me the day she died. And I remember I was 12 years old, laying in bed. I was fully awake, and she scared the hell out of me. She scared me so much, I told her to go away. And she did. She did go away because I was 12 and I was scared. So I've had this. And it's funny, I'm 44 years old right now, and I'm finally bringing it out to the public. So I've been doing readings for a few years now from people from word of mouth, but this is the first year in 2024 I've actually put it out there in public and made myself vulnerable. So I love it when these cards even come up for me. It's just saying, yes, Elena, you're on the right path. You're in the middle of a huge transformations. It's a fortunate omen. You're not going to recognize yourself a year from now, which is absolutely beautiful. So yes, I pull a single card every single day, close to every single day for myself. Just what do I need to know? And that's all I ask, because sometimes I don't have a particular question. If I want to have a particular message from spirit themselves or a past loved one, I will go to my messages from your angels deck. And this one is from Doreen Virtue. I really, really love this deck. And it's funny, I've been trying to find this deck for my best friend mom's for quite some time, and I can't find it. So with this deck, again, I'll do the exact same thing. I'll shuffle the cards. I'll say, what message does Spirit have for me today? So this will be a specific message Spirit will give me. What do I need to know today? What's the message from actual Spirit or past loved one today? Layla. What does Layla say? Spend time alone in nature, meditating about your desires and intentions. Ask the angels to help you gain a positive perspective. And then again, I would go into my book and read more in depth what Layla wants me to know. So this is very interesting because I've been busy lately. And even though I do meditate every single night, it's not enough for how busy I have become. And don't get me wrong, I'm grateful and I love it. But yes, Layla, message from spirits like Elena, spend some time alone, because I have kids. I'm married. I got two girls. Both girls are in sports, so I'm constantly shuffling them around. I mean, you get it. If you have kids, you know what it's like. So that is probably another most famous spread. It's just a one card spread for yourself. Can you do a one card for a friend? Absolutely. You can have them pick the card, or you can pick the card for them. However, if you do have your friends touch your deck, please clear them. Remember, knock on it 3 times with your left hand, ring a bell over it. You could sage the cards if you want. I find saging a little just too much work, especially when I'm doing back-to-back readings on people. So I just knock on them, clear their energy off. So that's the one card spread. More in-depth spread would be the 5 card spread. So what is that? So I'll go back to my Wisdom of Avalon cards. The past, present, future spread is very vague and general. Okay. If I want more in depth and I want more information towards a situation, I'll go to a 5-card spread. And that one's actually listed in this book as well. So a 5-card spread, I'm not going to ask a particular question. I'm just going to show you how to do it. You can shuffle the cards, and you stop shuffling the cards when you feel it's right to stop. Okay. So it's none of this, do this for 30 seconds or a minute. You figure it out. And then with your dominant hand, again, you can pick the top 5 cards off the top. Or with this one, I like actually doing the cuts because I want a more in-depth reading. So with my dominant hand, whether you're right-handed or left-handed, your dominant hand, I'm going to cut this deck into 5. So 3, 4, and 5. This first deck, I'm going to fan it out. And I'm just going to pick the card that calls out to me that I gravitate towards and lay it down. Remember, you lay the cards left to right. Remember that. That goes over there. Second one, I'm going to pick a card, and so forth. Now, this particular deck, it does not matter if your cards get flipped upside down. It does not matter. So, for instance, the Wasp has come upside down. No difference. I don't have to read the opposite or interpret the opposite. This deck has illustrated in it, but it doesn't matter. And everyone thinks that, and if there is an upside down, I'm just going to flip it right side up so I can see it. So here's my 5 cards. Okay, there we go. So the 5-card spread is when you want a more in-depth reading. Okay, so the 5 cards is, the first card is your current situation. What's happening now? So for this one, it says movement. Yeah, I'm not physically moving houses right now, but my career is moving fast pace in a certain direction, which is, I love it. I'm grateful and I'm thankful for it. This is my current situation. It's funny, even though I didn't ask a question, a lot of these cards are pertaining to me right now. So the first card is your current situation. The second card is your expectations from the situation. So what are you expecting out of it? Or what are you expecting to happen from it? So this got the Wasp. The Wasp has a stinger. So I'm going to sting somebody or somebody's going to sting me. Now, every time you put yourself out there on social media or out in the public and you make yourself vulnerable, you always got your naysayers, you always got your critics, you always got your negative people, and that's fine. I mean, you can't have, popularity without people being not liking you. It's just part of the show, right? That's where you set boundaries and you feel confident of who you are, and you don't let those naysayers ever bring you down, because you have a big purpose and to fulfill in this life and an imprint to make on this world, and you're damn well do it. Don't let anybody ever tell you can't do something. So the Wasp is my expectation. So I expect people to be my naysayers, 100%. Do I expect people to try to sting me? Yes. But when I read the booklet under the Wasp, it says when you know a wasp is coming toward you, you swat it away. So that's my hidden expectations. First card's your current situation. Second card's your hidden expectations. Okay, the third card is hidden influences. So first card's current situation. Second card's your expectations. The third card is hidden influences. Really important card because this card is telling you what's happening behind the scenes that you may not realize, that may not be present to you. So hidden influences that can adjust the situation, make or break the situation, is happening behind it. So I love this third card because it's a focal point to the whole reading. So my hidden influences is focus. So basically this card is saying, Elena, stay focused to your task at hand, to your projects at hand. That's what you need to do. This is the hidden influence. This card is going to make or break you. So for me, it's focus. The fourth card, advice. So you got your current situation, you have your expectations, you got hidden influences. Now, that fourth card is advice. So spirit's advice to you of what's going to happen or what can be happening and what you need to be wary of or realize. So for mine is disruption. Or this one is disruption. Disruption does not always mean a bad thing. I'm going to disturb a few people, me pursuing this. Some people may like me after this, some people may not. That's okay with me. So I'm going to cause, every time you create a change, you're always going to disrupt something. You're always going to disrupt what used to be. And that's okay, because we can't grow as individuals unless we are disturbing the pot a little bit. So hidden influences, oh no, advice, sorry, disruption. So I'm causing a disruption. That's fine with me. It's always a positive change. So remember, current situation, your expectations, hidden influences, advice from spirit, and the last one is the outcome. And it's really interesting. I got the swan again. So do I get synchronicities and coincidences with cards? Oh yeah, all the time. And is that by accident? No, I don't believe it is. It's just what's meant to be. So my outcome is the swan, transformation. You won't recognize yourself a year from now, and trusting in my psychic gifts, which I absolutely do. So the 5-card spread is a little bit more detailed. I particularly like the 5-card spreads. Some booklets will even have like a 12-month spread. Sure, those are fun when you have a glass of wine with a girlfriend or some friends to do, but it's very long and so much can change as time goes by. So I particularly don't like doing the 12-month spread, because I don't count on me pulling this card in March is going to be the main card come this October. I think this will still play an influence in my life. However, it may not be the dominant card. So have fun with your tarot decks. So as a recap, the most popular spreads that I like doing, number one, the 3-card spread, that's the past, present, future. So I'll do those like when I'm up north and somebody wants a quick reading. I'll just pull 3 cards for them. If I'm doing a reading on myself, I'll just pull a single card. And sometimes I do that every single day. Just tell me what I got to know. Tell me what I need to focus on today. Or is there any messages you want to give me today? And I just have trust in whatever card I pull. More in-depth reading, 5-card spread. I love it. So it's your current situation, your expectations, hidden influences, advice, and the outcome. So have fun with your tarot cards. If you have any questions, just shoot me a question in the comments, and have fun with your tarot cards. Have a blessed day, and we'll talk to you soon.